That means it's time for sports with Mike Cozzi. Let's bring in Mike, Mr. Soccer fan. Mike, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, you were right on the line with me to let me know that the U.S. women's team won.
I didn't tell you that they won.
You told me that they got handed the game.
I didn't tell you that they won. Yeah.
So, and they beat England. England.
What a shame.
England swings like a... Remember that country western song?
No.
Bobbies on bicycles, 2x2. All right. Roger Miller. Well, anyway.
No.
So, there is a plethora of sports to talk about, and I really took the floor yesterday, so I will open up the floor to you today first.
No, you said there's a plethora. I don't see a plethora. I see one thing. I don't see a plethora.
Well, what do you see?
The Mets won last night. They actually played a good game. They came back on the Yankees. They won. They got decent relief pitching. They looked like a totally different team last night. However, it's the young guys of the Mets that are carrying them, and that's what they have to go with. They got a little extra from Cano last night, which helped out things. But, you know, their core of young players are basically the way they got to go. McNeil went 2 for 4. Davis went 2 for 4. Cano got 2 hits last night. That was an astonishment. And the Mets, they won a big game last night. They came on late. The Yankees had a 2-0 lead for most of the game. Mets made it 2-1 in the 6th inning and 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning, which I saw put the Mets over the hump. And they played a good game last night. And the Yankees' home run streak ended. Maybe they used real baseballs last night.
That's exactly right. The home run streak ended. That's exactly right. That's what I was going to. I was going to talk about the home run streak on top of the Mets winning.
Yeah, you look at the pitching line too for Zach Wheeler. 116 pitches in 6 and the 3rd innings. Awful. And that's only with 1 walk. I remember we spoke about this last time he pitched, where he doesn't have an out pitch. He gets to 2 strikes on the batter, and then he just keeps trying to spot a fastball and throw it by him, and then occasionally throw in a slider. He needs to develop a pitch. He needs to develop a good changeup to go with his other repertoire of pitches, because he can't survive throwing 116 pitches in 6 innings. It's not going to work. 116 pitches is a 9-inning game. That's the way you should pitch a 9-inning ball game, not 6 innings. But he only gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. But that's a real glaring number when you only have 1 walk and you threw 116 pitches in just 6 in the 3rd innings. But the Mets won a big game last night. You could say the Yankees may have had jet lag coming back from England or whatever you want to say. But however you want to cut the pie, the Mets won a big ball game last night.
Oh, no doubt about it. Now, what I wanted to talk to you about, because...
Yeah, let's hear about this plethora.
Did you see, I know you didn't see this, England had a penalty kick, basically.
I saw it.
And the U.S. goalkeeper stopped it.
Yeah, I saw it.
That doesn't happen very often.
That kick was telegraphed so much that Ray Charles could have stopped it.
Well,
I watched it. You could see she was going left the entire time.
Well, I still think...
I don't understand how you can miss a penalty kick.
Well, that's the whole thing, and it would have tied the game, and it was there was only like 7 minutes left in the game on the clock. So I mean,
they waste so much time. I watched maybe a half an hour of it. There's so much downtime. They probably had, really, in reality, about 15 minutes of extra time, because this referee, she took her time making all these calls, and there was a hell of a lot more than 7 extra minutes or penalty minutes or whatever they call them at the end of the game to make up. If anybody goes back and watches the second half, and whenever the play is stopped and the ball is out and they're doing this, if you just run a stopwatch and add it all up, I'm willing to bet there was more than 7 minutes of downtime. But it is what it is. I mean, I don't have a lot of interest in it. I just root against the U.S.
Well, they're on to play. It was either Sweden or Finland, I think, for the title.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, come on.
When is that game?
You got to give them a break every now and then.
When is that game?
I don't know. I don't watch it.
I'll have to find out. So now I want to clean the litter boxes.
Yeah, I don't watch them, but I like for our teams to win. I do. I have to say that. Doesn't matter if it's gymnastics, if it's that stupid sport in the Winter Games where they shoot and they put skis on and they shoot and they put skis on.
Nah, no interest.
All right. I can't give it, but that was it. The Mets are the big story. The BIGSTORY last night.
Yeah, it was a good game. They played a good game last night.
Now,
they tried to give it back to him in the top of the ninth. Diaz took his time covering first base with the leadoff man, and he got beat to the bag. Even if he made the play, he dropped the ball. Even if he made the play, he still would have been safe. I think it was Gregorius that was breaking down to the line. I don't understand the lack of effort in major league players. I really don't understand the lack of effort in major league players, and that's going to bring me to my next item. When I played for the Cuban team in New Jersey, and everybody on the team were ex-major leaguers, minor leaguers, we were the best, unquote, quote, amateur team in the tri-state area. We played everybody everywhere for money, and the guy that ran the team, Ralphie Amato, he didn't take that. If you dogged it, he let you know about it right away. And the reason why I'm bringing up his name is he passed away on Friday, and I'm going to his funeral this morning. He was a great man. There's so many stories I can tell you about Ralphie. When we were playing, and he had young people living with him that were homeless and went on to become real big business people. I don't want to mention any names, but the one in particular is a very famous restaurateur, and that's just the kind of guy Ralphie was. He loved baseball. He loved baseball so much. His wake was last night, and I had a game, and I had a real quandary of what to do, and I said, Ralphie would want me to coach this game last night. So I went and coached the game last night. I missed his wake, but I will not miss the funeral. If the world had more Ralphie Amatos, the world would be a really, really good place to live in, and I'm going to miss this guy.
You know, I know what you're talking about. Here in Sharon, many, many years ago, a guy by the name of Fred Amerighi, he used to take care of the Sharon ball fields, which, by the way, are spectacular. There's a ball field in Sharon Valley that for years. It has major league dimensions. It's got a fence all around it. It's like 300 feet, 320 feet down the lines. It's like 460 to center field. Well, anyways, he was the head of the rec department, but he also was a baseball coach for the Tri-State League, which was after American Legion. It was ball. And he was just a great guy, and he was a gruff guy, but he was such a good guy. And my son got in trouble, okay? And it was only my son. Anybody who got in a little bit of trouble, instead of getting hauled off by police or anything, Fred would take them for the summer. And he changed my son's life around. My son never had such fun working hard for Fred, doing all things around and with him. Fred treated him, purchased him lunch and refreshments, and paid him and gave him money out of his pocket and for the whole summer. And totally changed my son's attitude around.
I went and I played for him for about 4 or 5 years, maybe more. We went to play in Puerto Rico several years, and he was the kind of guy that, he paid me to pitch, and he paid a lot of other guys to play for him. And if you didn't produce, he was like George Steinbrenner. You found somebody in your spot. I remember one time he flew a guy up from Miami to catch for a doubleheader for us. That's the kind of guy he was. He loved baseball, and he loved to win, and he'd do anything to win, and he was just a great man. And my wife got the pleasure of meeting him one time. He even owned a restaurant, and I found out, so we went to eat there one night, and he was sat down and talked and put on a big show for us. When we left, my wife said, "Man, you must have been pretty good." So he was a really tremendous guy, and I'm going to miss this guy a long time. I went to see him in the hospital last Monday. I knew he was sick, but I didn't realize how sick he was. And when I saw him, I knew he didn't have much time, and I was real glad that I went to see him when I did.
All right, Mike, we'll check with you mañana.
Oh, will you here tomorrow? Tomorrow's the 4th of July.
Oh, I'm here, but you don't have to be here. I'll tell you what. You get the day off with pay.
I like that. Send that check.
Okay.
Well, if I'm up, and I will definitely call in. But if not, I'll see you Monday, and we'll do some racing.
Hey, by the way, the checks have been going through the mail. That'll be a long time before you get it.
If you send it now, it might come by Labor Day.
Yeah, okay. Goodbye.
Holy smoke.
I know. I'll see you later.
Have a great day, guys.
Take care. Mike Cozzi with a check on sports this morning here on The Breakfast Club on Robin Hood Radio.